Hi guys, I'm James at Bespoke Airsoft. Welcome back to another video. Now it's been a while since we've done something gun related. You'll have seen I've been doing some personal projects during this lockdown that we've had. First I want to say we are open for business as usual and have been for the past God knows how many weeks that we've been in this mess. So all the orders have been shipped out as usual. There are some delays in the postal service at the moment, so it can take a little bit longer to get the orders to you, and it does differ depending on where you are in the country. Some local services are better than others and some are slightly more delayed if they're overrun. But in this video we're looking at a new rifle, and not only is it a new rifle for me to review on the show that I haven't done before, let alone in general, it's actually a new rifle of mine. So I looked at one of these to review and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have one of these, turn it into something pretty cool, and let's start, why not make a custom gun out of it. Perhaps you'll see it on the wall one day. So this one comes in a very long box, and it's something from Cyma. What could it be? So yes, I haven't actually bought something from Cyma for my own personal collection or use for a very, very long time. I've had AKs, I think I've had just AKs, to be honest, a lot of AKs. I haven't touched any of the M4s, but they're obviously their budget line and stuff now is getting very, very good. They're having MOSFETs included in the gearboxes and all kinds of stuff. This is not potentially a new line of products for them to do, but it is a new product in terms of modernising what they've already done and bringing it into sort of play with more modern replicas, so rails and such like that. So this is a Cyma SVD. Now we have this nice blue branded Cyma box here, which is what you get on a lot of their more premium line guns. Sometimes they'll just come in like a plain brown cardboard box, and they'll have like the white polystyrene, but as you'll see in this one, we've got some nice foam. So you got the manual stuff there, BBs, which they don't look too bad, but of course we'll throw them in the bin. We've got a battery, the gun's actually upside down, so I'm a moron. And you'll see here we have the SVD. This isn't just any SVD, this is their one of their latest M-Lok line of SVDs. So battery I won't use, charger I won't use. Of course you're going to be running this on LiPos. You get a high cap style magazine in the box, however they do have mid caps available as well. And then let's just pull the gun out here. So you can see this is a very, very long rifle. Just put the magazine in here. So something very different. This gun is locked to semi-auto, so it's going to be putting out a little bit more power compared to the other guns that you see on the wall, bar the two sniper rifles at the top there. But this is something that fills a gap, I feel, in my collection, because as you'll see, I mean, you'll see them in a lot of the videos now. We've got a lot of, I like pistol caliber carbine stuff, which is basically M4s and other bits and pieces, MP7s, SMGs, anything that use a pistol caliber in its true form. Obviously the MP7 has its own cartridge, but it kind of fits in the same thing, because whether it's a Scorpion Eva mag, an MP7 mag, PP19 mag, or like an M45, which is like a 45 caliber Glock magazine, they all go into the same rigs and bits and pieces that I use. So magazines just go in and out, and it's really easy. Of course I've got some recoil M4s, got a VZ58 there from Aries, which as soon as I bought the M45 X Class, I really started getting liking the Aries line of products. We stocked the Aries line of products for a while now, but I never personally owned one. So I got the VZ58, something a little bit different. If you've known me for many years, which some of you have done, you know I like different bits and pieces. So got bolt actions, I've got assault rifles, I've got a load of SMGs, MP5s hiding behind me there, load of pistols, but I haven't got a lot of semi-auto locked, well I haven't got any semi-auto locked rifles at the moment. I've had DMRs in the past, and I'm one of those purists where I can appreciate someone will get like an M4 platform like that, put a scope on with a nice long rail, perhaps a suppressor, and call it a DMR like it's a semi. I'm a bit more purist on that. I like the DMR platforms to have a proper roll. So your SR25s, your M110s, your SCAR heavies, some brands do DMRs of that with long ones. So generally DMRs in their real world applications, not all but most, will have a bigger caliber of projectile that they use, whether that's 308, 762. There's a whole, I'm not a firearms expert by any means, but I like what Aries do with the SR25. I like what Secutor have done using the SR25 platform, then using it with their new Rapax models, but they're, you know, quite pricey. This was something that is not going to stay standard. I like the fact that it comes with a 4 M-Lok handguard there. The barrel, again, if you know me, obviously it's not going to portray well with these two rifles here, but I have got a short front end for this. I like short end rifles. You don't need massive amounts of barrel length. Even with the two strikers that you see at the top there, they've both got short barrels on. Bespoke, well, myself and Bespoke kicked off the short barrel craze after something that Daniel Jones looked at, Sniper Mechanic. He was messing around with short barrels. We did the first over-the-counter short barrel for the Aries Striker platform, which is the one that you see here. So we don't need long outer barrels, inner barrels to get good performance at long distance and good accuracy. It's all about the quality of components that you use, making sure the barrel ratio to the cylinder ratio is about right. So one of the things that I plan on doing with this rifle is obviously shortening it and then perhaps suppressing it, something like that. So let's all that out the way, because I've babbled on far too long and I'm not sure if this will make it into the edit, but here we go. I've been cooped up in an office for far too long over this lockdown. Let's get to the SVD. So I'm going to do a quick overview here, then we're going to pull the camera in so you can take a closer look. Full metal replica, so you've got metal top cover, metal rail, metal receiver, you've got metal magazine, you've got metal trigger guard components here and magazine release, metal outer barrel, metal front end. Everything on this is metal bar the pistol grip and the stock. So it's a very, very solid construction on this thing. It feels absolutely amazing for what I would deem as, I'd still deem this as a budget DMR. You know, your Rapaxes are doing 499 retail, I think, pounds. Your Aries SR25s are more expensive. You're sort of looking between 500 and 600 pound where you get them. So this comes into that bracket where it's a lot lower than that. So I went with a tan model just because, for one, it's going to be easier for you to see on camera, and two, I'm probably going to end up Cerakoting the crap out of this thing anyway, so it doesn't really matter what colour it is. And I do like the two-tone effect as it comes as standard. So we have a fire selector on the side, which is the safety as well. We only have one selection, which is, well, two selections, one for the fire mode, which is safe and fire. This thing shoots for semi-automatic only. We pull back the charging handle here, and we've got a wheeled style hop unit, which we're obviously going to be playing with that as well. Nice and easy to adjust. You've got a long top rail here. Part of it is fixed to the top cover, which I think we can, if we move this round, we can take off. Yes, we can, like so. And then you'll see the gearbox there. And then the rest of the top rail is fixed to the handguard itself. Loads of M-Lok real estate here, so all your M-Lok accessories are going to go on there, whether you're using rail covers, sling points, grips, torches, lasers, anything that you want is going to go on there. When this cover does go back on, we flip this round. It is nice and secure, so it's not wobbly at all, so putting your scope on there, you're probably going to be absolutely fine. Have we got a scope we can put on it? Let's have a look. Let's take the scope off the ASO2 and see what this looks like with a scope on it. This is probably not the scope that I would use, however, for demonstration purposes, let's pop that on there. Now, if you don't want to put a scope on this that has like a 20mm rail or a red dot sight or anything like that, you do get the standard SVD style mount. I'm not sure if this rail piece comes off. Let's just check that while we're on camera so we know. So you can actually take that 20mm rail section off. Why you'd want to do that, I don't know. If you're using the normal like PSOPs and the other Russian style scopes, you're probably going to clear that. So I'd probably just leave it so you get that nice 20mm rail all the way across. Look, But let's flip this up here. Oh. So it's not bad at all. Cheek, where your cheek sits compared to where the scope sits is absolutely perfect for me where that is. The stock is like an M4 crane style stock. You have got a load of space in here for battery and such by pulling this apart, which I'm probably going to struggle to do now on camera, yeah. And the gun is wired to a mini Tamiya connector in the stock tube. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 position. 1, 2, I'll do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position stock, sorry. And you've got this really long outer barrel. Now, looking at it, I don't recommend doing this, I'm just going to look at the very tip of the barrel here. The inner barrel comes to about here. So, you're probably looking at what, a 550, 600mm inner barrel, maybe. I have to get it out and obviously measure it. We're obviously going to bring that down when we build this thing. Perhaps we'll do a series on building this thing, make a nice modernised SVD. But I love the way the grip feels as well, compared to, you know, you've got the, I love the classic SVD. I actually had a gas one a long time ago. Didn't have it for very long, I got it in a trade and moved it on, just because it wasn't the right gun for me at the time. However, I much prefer this small modernised grip. It's very similar to what is on the BL. I think the BLU has a similar style angled grip, which is up on the front here. The BLU or the SVU is the bullpup style SVD that they do. Anyway, as you can tell, I've been in lockdown far too long. I'm babbling, I'm going off topic, so let's move the camera in. We'll show you a closer look at this thing, and then we'll get to Chrono in it and doing the accuracy test, which we've got something, well, I say I've got something cool set up for the accuracy test. It makes it a little bit easier for when we're doing these videos, but a DIY, which we'll get to in just a moment. So let's get this under the camera and take a closer look. So here we have the Cyma SVD M-Lok. This is going to be difficult for me to film because it's very long and I'm on one side of the camera for this for you. So as you can see, it looks absolutely amazing, especially in this two-tone setup that they've got. It looks great in black, but I just think with the black and the tan, it gives it some definition to all the features of the rifle. So going from the back to the front, obviously the scope's not the scope is not included. I'm slurring my words now, and I haven't even been drinking. You've got the M4 style crane stock there, which is tan and black. This is where you store the battery in the stock tube. It's rear wide, it's nice and easy. I'm not going to mess about with any wires in the handguard there. Metal stock tube, and then we've got a plastic grip here, which is extremely comfortable to use. We've got metal receiver, metal controls, metal trigger guard, sorry there. We've got metal high cap style magazine, metal top cover, metal rail all the way along. And I'm going to do my best to push this along for you. And then we've got this lovely M-Lok style handguard here, loads of space, then real estate there to put all your accessories on. And then we've got a metal outer barrel. I'll flip this round, which is very long indeed. As you can see there, absolutely gorgeous. So, magazine it comes with is a high cap style magazine. Load the rounds in the top, close the window, give it a wind. You're not limited to high caps, however you can get mid cap magazines as well. Just take the scope off here for you. Plenty of real estate there. And then to take the top cover off, all we do is we get this lever, push it all the way around, lock it into place on the opposite side, and then the top cover literally just pulls upwards and falls off like so. You've got mounting screws here, which does mean you can take these off, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. And you can see the gearbox here, charging handle, and then the hop up unit, which is just behind it there. Let's pop that back on. Again, apologies if I'm out of shot. This is a very difficult one to manoeuvre into place with it being so long. But wouldn't expect anything less with DMR, would you? Sniper rifle. They never tend to be short. Let's pop this scope back on there. There we go. So as you can see, beautiful looking rifle. No trades on it at the moment. There's obviously manufacturer trades. You've got made in China there, and you've got a serial number from the distributor on the other side. We'll take normal AEG M4 style stock, so anything you want to put on there, like your Magpul CTR copies, anything like that. Very cool indeed. So I know what you're waiting for. What does this thing chrono at? How does it respond on 11.1 LiPo? And what's the accuracy like? Even though we're doing it at 10-15 meters, let's see what the accuracy is like compared to pistols and rifles that we shoot on the show as well. So let's go and chrono this bad boy, and then let's do an accuracy test. Now for the accuracy test, we're using a new target. This was sent to me by a company which I will put their details in the description down below. A very new cool target system. It can be used for airsoft and air rifles. It's got a steel plate fitted inside, and I've just come up with a bit of a way to sort of mount it so it's furthest down in the garage, giving us about 15 meters from the front of the garage to the very back of the house, which is the utility. Obviously the weather is much nicer now, but I don't want to go and alarm anybody. There's a lot of people in the houses, out in the gardens. I don't want to start shooting rounds off in the garden, so we'll just keep it indoors for today. So we'll get to that right now. That was fired at 15 meters, unsupported, no scope. And let's take a look. So I'll zoom you out to see how far you are away. And you'll see I've got this new target. I've just set up a drop down piece of wood with a little block there to stop it from dropping on its own, so this target can be moved out of the way. Obviously when we want to open the garage, this area here, and this is 0.3s, no hop set whatsoever, firing from a standing position, no scope on the rifle whatsoever, and you can see there was a flyer here and a flyer here or there when I was just figuring out where the gun was firing. As soon as I knew where the gun was firing relative to where I was pointing it to, you can see the section here. That's 2 fingertips, 2 fingers wide. I don't have, it's probably about an inch and a half group at 15 meters unset, so absolutely outstanding results from this gun straight out of the box. So I hope you've enjoyed this little overview of the Cyma SVD M-Lok. This is a superb model from their range. I absolutely love it to bits. I'm going to take this apart and put some custom bits in there, make a custom front end. Perhaps we'll wait till the lathe series is finished, because I'll need the lathe to obviously turn down the outer barrel and make it much shorter. I've also sort of played with the idea of having this internally suppressed, so perhaps we'll have the inner barrel sort of finish about here, and then we'll have a suppressor sticking out the end. Not really got around to that yet. Perhaps we'll just keep it nice and simple and have a suppressor on the end, much like the way the wrap axe is. But I hope you've enjoyed this model. It's a very cool model from Cyma. I'm glad that they're pushing the boat out with the M-Lok and not just making run-of-the-mill SVDs. As nice as the SVD is, trust me, I'm a massive fan of the SVD. I do like this. The stock I think will come off and be changed for something that's slimmer, because we don't need mounds of battery space. This isn't going to be fired a lot. We're going to be using, you know, mid-cap magazines, perhaps in an up-full roll, but it just gives you a little bit more modern touch, a little bit more adjustability with the M-Lok, and it's much more comfortable for me with this pistol grip. So I hope you've enjoyed the Cyma SVD M-Lok. You can find these on our website right now in black and in tan. We also have other Cyma SVD models on there if this one's not for you. We've got the standard ones, we've got the bullpup SVUs, I think they're called, correct me if I'm wrong. Nice respectable FPS as you've seen. Accuracy, obviously it's difficult with something that's meant to be a DMR at sort of 10-15 meters, but you know, I can imagine that once we start putting some nice bits in this and we start fine-tuning the hop unit, we have some great DMR range out of this thing. Thanks for tuning into this video. I hope you like this gun. Be sure to check out our other videos on the channel. We've got loads on there. It's stacking up at the moment. I never thought we'd have got to this point with the YouTube channel where we've got like over 5,500 subscribers, but we're now approaching 6,000. So I appreciate every one of you stopping by and the comments that I see saying great review and stuff. It does help a lot. It makes me feel like the time invested in making these videos is worth it. Bespoke Airsoft is open as usual. All the orders have come flooding in. Thank you very much for that. You're keeping us on our toes and keeping us busy. Just be patient with the delivery service at the moment because they are delayed. But hope you've enjoyed this rifle. Hope you've enjoyed the way I've done this review for you, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.